All women come into this dimension with their ancestors, in her embryos, because that is her nation inside of her. Not only are those embryos her nation, her future, that's her future inside of her, that is also her past inside of her, meaning her ancestors. Those are her ancestors in her eggs. They not new spirits. Those are her ancestors coming back in. That's why they talk to her. That's why she's so spiritual. But watch this. Whenever she puts out an energy, her spirits feel that energy. Her ancestors feel that energy that she puts out. This is why when you do something, when you put out an energy, it comes back to you many-fold, because you just put that shit out to all your ancestors from the past, which affect your future as well. Watch this, what I'm going to tell you. When you put out an energy, you are affecting the past. What did I just say? Okay, so let me change that word. When you put out an energy, you are changing the past. Let me say it again. If I want to, I got all my ancestors with me. And when I want to change the past, I change myself. Let me rephrase that. When I change myself, like I go out, let's say I go out and I want to give to the homeless. I am, building this for these people, and I'm just all around changing my energy, and I'm finding a way to do good and be good, and everything about me is positive. I have just now affected every ancestor that is riding with me. I have just now changed the past. Now, I'm going to tell you something. You've been hearing about, I don't know if you heard about the Mandela Effect. What it's saying is that the past is changing. They want to blame that on something the Caucasians are doing at this thing called CERN. You've heard of CERN? Okay, CERN is this thing where they taking these molecules and they supposedly banging them together, and some kind of way they trying to go back in the past. And they, people are noticing that things are being changed in the, that used to be, and they're different. I'm going to say this to you again. When women change their energy, they are in effect changing the past. And when you are aware, see, now that I've become aware of it, I know it's already being done. Now, what the spirits are telling me is how to do it on a great level, to clean this shit up. I just told you why you're a God. You can change the past. Can a man do that? No, he can't reach back to the ancestors like a woman can. But you can. Do you understand why you're the God now? Now, this is why they want to take control of your kids. Imagine we told our little brothers and sisters all this information and helped them to manifest it the way I just told you. Have you heard of the they call it a theory, but it's called the 10% theory. Have you ever heard of that? Let me tell you what they did. They did this study where they took this, I think it was a coconut or something, and they put it in sand. And they wanted to see if the monkeys were going to figure out how to clean the thing off, because they didn't know how to clean the sand off the coconut or whatever the fruit was that they were feeding them. And so it was like, at first they weren't getting it. And then somebody, I don't know, one of them figured out, okay, I'm going to dump this thing in the water, clean it off, and then I'm going to, then I can eat it. And then, once 10% of the animals got it, automatically the whole tribe of monkeys got it, automatically. And it's like once 10% of them get it, then now everybody else got it. The reason why that happens is because, remember, You, just like in animals, we are carrying our ancestors with us. You have the ability to change the past simply by changing you. And what the 10% theory is that the reason why that works is because she's reaching back in her DNA. So when she changes who she is, all of her ancestors sense that and feel that. And so it becomes, what she's done is change the past, which is retroactive to the future. It sounds crazy, but this is why when they say, you know, when you put something out, it's gonna come back to you tenfold. That's why. Because when you put that shit out, you done affected all of your ancestors back in the past. And then that shit comes retroactive back to the future. You understand how it's recycling and circling like that? So now imagine if you get a whole bunch of little sisters and you give them this information. Did you know how many ancestors the little sisters are carrying? So we got to get to our little sisters, because imagine when our little sisters get this information, how fast this can turn around. And we get them to, look, this is the application. You get the little sisters to go out and just do things in the community. Show love for each other. Take the little sisters, like we got to pull them out of the public schools and start educating them ourselves. This is why you used to have male and female schools. That came from our ancestors. You understand that? Because you can't sit her next to him and be trying to tell her who she is with him sitting there, because it's just like you can't tell a melanated child sitting next to somebody of another race what's going on with them. This is why they're talking about we need to go back to segregation, because you can't really teach a melanated child who they are sitting next to somebody else. And so it's the same thing with boys and girls. You can't really explain to her and then him sitting there, because the message has got to be different for him. Like I can't, some of the stuff I'm telling you, I know men not going to be able to receive it, and it ain't really for them. She got to understand what it is. But once again, you got these little sisters carrying all of their ancestors. If you get those little sisters to go out and start effecting these changes, it's going to affect all their ancestors. They're carrying hundreds of thousands of ancestors with them. All we need is 10% of the little sisters to get this. And this shit is cleaned up. You understand what I'm saying? All we need is 10% of the little sisters to start effecting a change, and this shit is cleaned up. I was thinking I'm going to have to recycle up out of here and come back before it gets clean. But that's not the case, because if 10% of them get it, everybody must follow. We got to go to the little sisters